Recording started.
What's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Greek Swift. I got Sport Mouth, Corey, Savage Kitty. I got Miguel. You know what? I was terrible at pronunciations, and I was trying to pronounce his last name like Alicea, and I was like, my mom goes, "Yeah, that's right," and I'm like, "Sure," and I'm like, "I don't know. I got to ask him."
So yeah, you do a lot better than I've had in my lifetime. It's Alicea.
Alicea. See,
Alicia. Yeah.
no, that wasn't Alicia.
No, I used to get that in school.
Did you? Yeah, you probably hated it.
Of course.
So I know we talked off air last week, and I'm glad you finally were able to come on. So I hope, was your daughter everything okay? Everything's good?
Yeah, everything's working out. You know how it is with 28-year-olds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I date 28-year-olds, so I know.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
me too.
Me too.
So
Not yet.
like I said, we talked off air. So Miguel was Michigan's most wanted at one point. He was incarcerated for 18 years, 7 years in solitary confinement. So I know we talked about the prison life, but tell me, I know you
Right.
said born in Chicago, was back and forth to Detroit, was with grandma and grandpa in Detroit. You said you started getting in trouble really young.
Right.
And you came over from Chicago, and you were growing up in a neighborhood that had, if I remember, you were saying, I think you were saying the Latin Kings. I can't remember. Disciples. I don't know what neighborhood you grew up. What was the gang that you guys grew up where you were in?
So actually, on my grandmother's block, it was 26 Razas and Saint Disciples.
Okay, the Disciples. Okay.
Right.
So you were experienced at a young age to what was going on in the streets.
Right.
And fortunately, not yet. The crack epidemic didn't hit yet. So
Right.
you were going forward to Detroit. What was the tale that you told me why you guys went to Detroit? What was the purpose that you guys moved? Did your parents just want you a better life? What was the deal? Or your
Well,
grandparents?
basically, yeah, my grandparents, my parents, my mother mostly, she was a single mom, so
Okay.
my grandparents helped out.
Okay.
And what it was is, they were elderly, so
Right.
in Chicago, the gangs are predominantly every other block is a set, so they didn't want me to get caught up in the gang life, so they
Right.
figured send him to Detroit, where I was one of the ones who brought the gang life to Detroit.
Right.
Detroit had its old school thing going on. Detroit's got its own thing, but I helped bring that Chicago madness to the streets, and ended up developing, the set out in Southwest Detroit.
Right. So what year, how old were you when you went from Chicago to Detroit?
I was back and forth my childhood. 8 and 9 is when I really came for the stay. So you figure
Right.
8, 9, at that age I was in elementary school, so I went to the Catholic school at first. That didn't work out, so they put me in a public school, and
Right.
I was bullied, and what happened was I was getting bullied by this kid to where I ended up, we had a big fight, and I got the best of him, and he was a little bit bigger than me. So from that incident, I became like this little hero for all the other kids that were getting bullied. And then so that's where I established my little reputation. Just grew from that onto, um, I was a young father. At the
Right.
age of 14, I fathered my
You,
first child.
right.
So
So,
by
um,
17, I had 4 kids.
right. You told me you have 4 kids by 17. So I'm going to stop you there. So I know you're coming from Chicago. Do you know? So you start. You're one of the original founders of the LC. So
Yes.
one of the original members, original founders. Do you know Tony Buddhist? Do you know those guys? Because I mean, I know they're originally from Chicago. Do you know them there?
Yes. Well, I met them briefly there, and which was another coincidence that they were also out of Southwest Detroit as well, from the
Right.
mother side.
Right. Okay. So what year did you guys think, year 84, 85, 86, 87? What year did you guys say, we should form this, we should form the LCs and we should do that? What I know you said you're 14. I'm pretty sure you already started it.
Right. So, the mid 80s, like 84, 85, Tigers, World Series, crack
Right.
epidemic was just beginning. The late 80s, 87, 88, 89 is when it got, to its intensity, to where 88, 89 was the beginning of my year. My daughter was born November 15th of 1989, my
Right.
firstborn. So in that time, we was just, you know, getting money. And the good
Right.
way to get money, we was working the spot, selling crack.
Right.
And
Right. So
and that's how
you guys you guys are working this, you guys are, I can't remember. Was it V West at the time? I can't remember. They had a different name. So you guys are slaying.
V West was V West was definitely one of our spots. Yeah,
Wow.
it was. Christian C and Clark, um, number streets. Everybody was, developing their little territories. V West
Right.
was actually one of my spots that I worked with my kid's mother's brother, my kid's uncle. So,
Okay.
he was also a member of the LC.
Okay. So, and then I know you say you guys go into a massive recruiting. You guys start recruiting like crazy, because
So yeah, like summer,
I'm sorry.
that summer of '89 was the big boom of everything, and then '89, '90, it just blew up out of nowhere. The gang life in Southwest Detroit, and us
Right.
as one of the original. We were like one of the first ones that really put it off. Heavy duty. We didn't have a lot of numbers, but we were making a name. We had a heavy impact. Chocolate Anthony, money getter, and he was flashy. He had that, that persona, good looking, nice cars. The
Right.
club life scene. We were all involved in it to where we were kids in the adult mainstream lives, action,
Right.
heavy hitter crowds that we made a name.
So, who gives you your name, your street name? Who gives you your street name?
So I actually got my name from Buddhist. Buddhist was
Wow. Wow. Rest in peace. Of course.
Yes, sir. Buddhist was actually also known as Psycho, which was what I was named as his counter, Psycho 2. And it just stuck with me, doing a lot of crazy things that people were like, man, you're Psycho. And then that's it. So it was like, that's it. That's what we're going to call you, Psycho. And that's how it began.
So, you're 14 years old, 80, or is it 89? 14, you said? 'Cause I'm 16 in 89, I think. So you're 14 in 89.
Right.
Okay. So
Correct.
how many kids do you have in '89? You have two already, or just one? So
So just one. My firstborn, Jasmine, was born.
okay. So you have a child. You're trying to make money. You're doing all this crazy stuff, right? I mean,
Right.
you went through a whole list of what you did,
Yeah.
and you end up. I think you said on your 17th birthday. I think you said, or a week before. I can't remember what you said. What would refresh my memory? What did you say that you end up getting caught at the bar?
Well, from 14, I fathered my first child, and
Right.
I ended up being awarded a state in the juvenile system. I went to training school, so I come out of training school 16,
Okay.
and I'm trying to clean up, my life. Trying to establish myself with a job to provide for my children. I
Oh,
have
that's just where you get the painting job, right?
right. So I was
Okay.
doing the little construction thing.
Okay. So you start painting,
And
and
so,
you got to provide for your family. So you're trying to
right.
you move to the burbs. You're trying to change your
Moved to the
life.
burbs,
You have a family.
trying to clean it up. Right.
Trying to clean it. Right.
Right. A
And
lot of
then
deaths had already occurred.
right.
Trying to
One of your best friends
stay away
just died. One of your
Right.
best friends dies in your arms.
Booted.
Yep.
Wow.
In a drive-by, if I remember right. Correct.
Correct. Right.
At the time in '89, I was dating her sister, so I remember bits and pieces. So,
Right.
so '89, or I'm sorry, he dies in your arms. So you're seeing a lot of death, a lot of bullshit. You have your couple
Right.
children, and you're just like, you know what? I need to change my life. So you move to the burbs,
Right.
settle in with your new baby mama, and you got a
Right.
good job. You're making decent money.
Right.
You drive way home. I believe you said you see your uncle at the bar, and you stop because you're just like, oh, let me see what's up with this guy, and you go in,
Definitely.
and somebody that had a problem with, I don't know, I can't remember who you said you had a problem with. One of your boys. He starts fucking
So
with
my
you.
older brothers, one of my older brothers, passed beefs that it
Okay.
was a guy that ended up encountering where drinks were going. We just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time. Trouble was asking, calling, and next thing you know, weapons were pulled over argument.
Right.
I fired a couple rounds off as like a warning, and that just ensued to next thing you know, I was Michigan's most wanted for attempt murder.
So he's laying. I know you said he's laying down. You pop a couple more. You guys get out of there, right?
Right.
And you end up going home, grabbing your shit, and you guys. I think you said you ended up going to Mexico. I can't remember where you ended up fleeing to first.
So I ended up going to New York.
New York.
From New York, I jumped on a plane to Acapulco Bay, Mexico.
Right.
Damn.
So you go to Mexico. How many months are you down in Mexico?
So I'm down there a couple months, and my girlfriend at the time is pregnant with my my youngest daughter. So I come back to reclaim to
your youngest daughter at
get her.
Correct.
Right.
So you end up coming back because you're like, you know what? Come on, babe. We're gonna go down to Mexico. Blah blah blah.
Right.
We're just gonna. Hopefully, it just cools down.
Yeah, get away
Whatever.
from it.
Yeah, it kind of goes away.
Right.
You go.
Right.
You see her. You're there for, I think you said, less than 24 hours. Somebody drops dime on you, say where you're at. They come kick your door up. They kick your door in the middle of the night, and then take you away.
Damn.
Take me away. Yeah, 5-car escort to the 4th precinct.
Wow.
SWAT team, gang squad. We get down there, go through due processing. I'm waived to the adult system. End up in the county jail, and process for the charges that sent me away.
Right. So they reduced your charges to, I believe you said, because originally it was attempted murder, I believe, and then it got reduced to, what was the original charges they got reduced to?
So it was from attempt murder to assault with intent to commit great bodily harm, less than attempt murder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they sentenced you for 12 years, and then you go away. What age are you at this point? I think you said 17.
17, yeah.
17. So you go away, and then you go to Gladiator School.
Yes, sir. Ionia, Michigan Reform Club.
Right. You go to Ionia. How long were you there? How long were you at Ionia?
So I went in through intake. I went to Riverside transferred to Ionia inside the walls. A couple years.
Okay.
I ended up, I had a big night. It was actually a big night fight on the yard, September 20th, 1995. And they shipped us all out. And from there, I ended up in Max. Came out of Max on a graduate reduction and got myself back down to a level 2.
Okay.
And my 10th year, parole board wasn't letting me go home. They kept giving me the maximum flop over 24-month nature of crime, misconduct history, a bunch of bullshit. The system, they felt I didn't have enough time off my sentence, so they were going to make me do it all.
Right.
No matter how good my conduct was.
We're going to go back. When the cells closed the first time, or when you realized you were actually in here for the long run? How
I realized
you handle that?
My 10th year, I had a 12-year maximum sentence.
Hold on, that story. Yeah, hold on. We're gonna get there. So when you first went to Ionia, was it pretty real for you, or you still was like, I'm gonna try to get out. I'm gonna try to get out sooner.
So my mentality was, I'm gonna do my minimum, which was 6 years. With good time back then, it was 5 years, 3 months. Right. I'm new to the system. I didn't know how the system worked. I caught a couple of major misconducts in the beginning, first couple of years, to where they take your good time, they make you do your full calendar 12-month years. I see the parole board, they give me the maximum flop. I see them again, they give me the maximum flop. Then I realize, the administration. All the time.
Right.
Yeah, the administration is against you.
Wow.
It's obvious you're going to serve your full time. So
I'm going to serve my full time. Yep.
Right. So you, like I said, and then they labeled you as a gang leader. They labeled you as a leader. So they just kept denying you. On your 10th year, you're going to get a visit from your daughter. You haven't seen her in 6 years.
Wow.
Very emotional day. Very emotional day. They deny it. Do they deny it while she's there on the grounds, or do they need to deny it before she gets there?
No. They denied it. They processed her through. They even had me waiting in the visiting for them to come through. And as they were walking them through processing, they didn't deny it because of her clothes attire. She's a 7-year-old, my daughter. The Oshkosh covers. They call them bibs. It's against policy. So they knew we were going to do that. You can even come back. Or once the process, there you go, allowing it.
Okay.
So.
And how old did you say your daughter was at the time?
How old was your daughter at the time?
7.
Right. So she was wearing Oshkosh overalls.
She was wearing Oshkosh overalls.
Kids' clothes.
Yeah.
She's 7.
Wow.
Kids' clothes.
They're not bibs when you're 7.
That's crazy. Oh my god.
Right.
So you denied. It's pretty emotional. You're probably very upset at this point.
Right.
You go back.
These are things that you don't even know because you're just waiting to see her.
You're just waiting.
You find this out later. I just wanted to touch on that, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
You go back to the rec room, or I think you said, I don't know if you said the rec room, cafeteria. Go back to where they tell you,
so
hey,
I went back to my unit. Yeah, I went back to my unit. Where I was housed, and I walked in a day room where you can watch TV. And you pull you're sitting in a row of chairs. So I pulled a chair. It was it was hot that day, so I pulled a chair off the roll and put it under a ceiling fan. And and I stepped out of that room, and the guard approached me. He had a chip on his shoulder already. One of those guards that you always got the one that's trying to abuse, enforce his authority to the max. By the book, asshole. And it was just that day that he had it out for me. He just I opened the door by
you're going through something emotionally because
I'm going my emotions are running.
You just want to see your daughter. Shit.
Right.
Well, you haven't seen your daughter at this point since she was what, 1, 2 years old?
1, right. I hadn't seen her in 6 years. Emotions running high. Irritated, hot day. All the red flags, and then I got this guy that gets on my trail.
Oh man!
And the wrong
looking
approach.
to push your buttons. Looking to push your
You
buttons.
move the chair. He tells you why you move your chair, and you lost it. I mean, emotionally, you're at your brink. You lost it. You haven't seen your child, and I don't know if you said you lost the chair at him or what the case was.
I mean, who wouldn't have lost it?
He was like, he called me my Alicea, you got a ticket coming for moving that chair. You just made, put my fucking chair back on the road. And I was like, man, fuck you. Who you think you're talking to? And then that was it. He's like, you just made a minor into a major. You're going to the whole threatening behavior. And then I said, that was it. I just said, well, I'm going to the whole, so I'm going to go to the whole for a reason.
Right. He already.
I'm going to go. Let's go out with a bang.
You start throwing microwaves. You start busting up the place.
Right.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
You start busting up the place. And then what happens is boys jump in it, more guards. You got guards now with, they're ready to go. Riot gear, they got ready to go.
Right.
You said it was a 45-minute standoff with how many guards?
Over 100 guards. It's lockdown, cold blue. You got the whole compound of guards running to the unit. They're surrounding us on base. Then you got the goon squad comes through.
They're gassing you, right? I remember you were saying they were gassing.
Baton.
Right. I mean, and how many guards did you hem up that day with your boys?
Well, I was prosecuted for knocking out 4 guards, 4 assaults of prison employees. I mean, we were in a 16-minute fight, and I knocked out several. But the ones that were out cold was 4 of them. They took them off by gurney in the ambulance, and that was just in a brawl of being rushed at 5 in a squad at a time, and we was just rocking and rolling, letting them loose. Right. And but the 4 that I got prosecuted for were the ones that they were out cold. They went to sleep. So it was heavy duty.
Night.
It was all them emotions exploded. It was sad because I broke down and didn't have no control. My body was just drenched in a sweat. Looked like I came out of a swimming pool, and I was just I was lashing out. I was venting. I recall it, parts of it to where I was specific, and it's deep because there was a video of it made into a training tape now for
this day
purpose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now saying this is what doesn't happen. This is what happens when it goes bad. So this training video is when it goes bad. Right. This training video is still in.
Give them a tool to learn how to approach prisoners that are, everybody's got a bad day, but we deal with a lot of emotions that our prisoner, and you got officers that take their authorities to the extreme. That just creates a hostile environment.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they take you. You're prosecuted, convicted, or whatever for 6 more years.
Right.
They throw you in the solitary confinement, the hole.
Right.
They torture you. They don't feed you for 20. Yeah, 7 years. They don't feed you for 28 days.
Right.
Survived on water, tap water.
Right.
You survived on things that were thrown under and to get you bread. Maybe somebody threw you some bread. You were able to shower 2 times a week, and they didn't tell you when the shower was going to come.
Wow.
Right.
And the rest, you had to take a bird bath.
Right.
When you enter the first cell that you go to, there is fucking shit on the wall. You got to clean it off. You got to clean it off yourself and rip a piece from your bed or whatever to clean it.
Right.
The cloth. Wow.
Picture just basically torture you.
Right.
For what you
did. 7 years like that.
Wow. Damn, bro. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I swear,
thank you.
Dude, when you told me this story on the phone, I almost cried because I just how can you do this to a human?
Right.
I mean, he pretty much had me with the daughter thing, so
but
that's some personal thing for another time.
Alex, what are you? Can't use a cancer, right?
One too many.
I'm a cancer too, and I started crying as soon as Drake started to tell me you were coming on, and I watched a lot of your interviews. I watched an interview you did with somebody else and read up on you, and I just couldn't stop crying because I just the empathy that I had for you and going through all of that. And you're such a blessing and such a strong human to be here today.
They don't make it. They definitely. I only say this about my father. He passed away 2019. God bless him. They don't make him like.
God bless.
They don't make him like you guys, like you anymore, man. So there's really no words,
Yeah, so. No, your survival, I'm sure, gives many people hope and against a system that's so injustice and treats people inhumane, and so.
Right.
Wow.
Wow. Administration is totally against you even before you go into the hole. Administration starts treating you like shit. Now we're having other guests that have been in prison and coming up. The system needs to change. They have these private companies that run these that really don't care. They're paid by the state, but the state doesn't really care because they just pay these guys to watch these prisoners.
And you got people running stuff their own way.
Yeah, and just for being inhumane to a person, treating you like a dog. We got to point a lot of stuff went from gangs to shooting the guy to having problems in prison.
Right.
I was talking to Miguel and I said, as a young child, you now that you see it as a fault, but emotionally as a 9-year-old that kind of his parents don't know if they want him, grandparents can't handle him because they're up in age. He's bouncing around. A lot of that stuff fucks you up, but you just don't know it. And you go into things because you're looking for acceptance.
You're trying to survive.
You're trying to survive
in your own way.
Right. You're trying to survive.
And don't even realize
the wrong place at the wrong time. Wasn't even your beef. You go to prison. You get labeled. You get labeled as a troublemaker. You get labeled as a leader. You get labeled as a gang member.
Outcast.
Now administration is against you. So your whole life, they've been against you. And, that's the problem with prisons is that it's not rehabilitations. It's more of like torture, more of let me treat you. Everybody else has been shitty to you, but let me be more shitty to you.
Right.
And what do you expect? prison riots? What do you expect about people getting shot, stabbed in there? What do you expect? People are going to lose it.
Right.
So you're in this hole, and I know you told me, which, like I said, another time I was crying. There's a guy pounding on the wall. You have to pound back on the wall so you can hear yourself think. And you said you pounded on the wall. I don't know how many hours, but you pounded on the wall for
3 days.
Pounded on the wall so hard that your arm started fucking bleeding because you could tell, shut the fuck up. I want to go to bed.
Right. No peace. No train of thought. No time to. It's like a zombie war. And it's 24/7, 365 days a year. It's
and you hear guys crying. You hear guys
trying anything.
You guys hear probably eating their own shit. Just crazy shit.
Yeah.
You said at one point you were talking to your own boogers to keep your sanity.
Yeah. That's it, man. You go into. I had to go into the depths of my soul and hold on to sanity, being able to communicate with somebody because I'm isolated to the max. And so I talked to a booger. I called myself talking to my fucking boogers. And that's how I kept my sanity. I on a day-to-day basis, isolated. There was no peace, no appliances, nobody to pass the time. I'm in that cell. So that's it. You gotta adapt.
You just kept
pushing. Keep going.
Going.
What was your thought process those 7 years? I mean, every day, like you said, you barely got. They gave you. I don't know how many. I think you told me they let you out. How many days a week?
So every 30 days, I was allowed a 5-day break in a human dog cage for 1 hour if I chose to go out to the cages.
And you majority times I don't even want to go.
Right.
Because you just was like, fuck, what does it matter?
Was that like one time?
I stayed in that
one time, like 5 days in a row. I'm sorry to cut you off, but was that like 5 days in a row you get, or can you use them, as you want it? Or I'm just curious.
No, it was after 30 days. You get 5-day break for 1 hour in the cage if you choose to. After that 5 days, then it's another 30 days before you get that 1 hour privilege for 5 days in a row. So you got to go another 30 days before you're entitled to that 5-day break. In the winter times, they give you these little kung fu shoes that, you got 2, 3, 4 inches of snow outside, and one little thin pair of stay socks and a kung fu shoe that ain't gonna keep your feet warm, And then in the summertime, you got guys throwing feces and urine, beefing at each other in the cages, so you don't want to get caught in the crossfire, and then just, you become, adjusted to that confinement where I just hold off and stay in that cell, to where
So and I know they gave
it's
you
almost worse going in the cage. It just makes things even worse, it seems.
Do they hold on, Drake? I got a quick question. Do they, the guards and everything, because from movies are movies and shit, so I don't mean no disrespect whatsoever, because I don't know, but like you said, the guards they're different people from when they leave their house and come to work. So my question is, like, did they take stuff like that? Like, if you were like, I just want to stay, I don't want to come out. Did they take that like this as disrespect or personal, or take it out on you at times and stuff?
A lot of times, we all, like, I go to work every day. We all got personal things going on in life, and then when you go to work, you leave that personal part of life outside. So in that environment for the guards, a lot of times the guards that abuse their authorities are the ones that got shit going on at home, so
Right.
that shit would just go out in there and just give it to us. You know,
Damn.
you had guards in there pressing guys. You had I seen it all. You had married men, correction officers coming in there, married lives and pressing men for homosexual men.
Wow. Damn, that's
You know,
Yep.
insane.
you had
That's insane.
I
Stuff
have
that
a
nobody
cousin
thinks
who
about.
is incarcerated right now, and he's gay. And he said you wouldn't believe the amount of guards that try to make passes at him, try to insinuate, we'll give you more commissary if you let it we're gonna stand here and watch you in the shower, have him try all kinds of things. He said it's crazy the amount of people that try to come at him.
Wow.
You got no privacy. You got
none.
You know, the system, like you said, there's no reform or rehabilitation. It's to penalize and punish. It's to abuse authority in the name of job security and let all your shit off on ones that are labeled a number. We're just a number. And that abuse of authority, you know, creates hostile environments. It goes to all extents of, man, pressing. I've seen it all. Guards pressing prisoners for sex. I've seen, you know, the favoritisms, the madness, you know,
Just
all
whatever they want.
scenes there, right? You know, and then on top of that, you know, it's a controlled environment, so you have to. It become in my day. If you want physically strong, you got ate and alive. In today's day, if you're not mentally strong, you got to have a whole package: mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You got to be a master chess player in order to overcome the system.
Right.
Because it's programmed to institutionalize you, to program you to break your spirits, to keep you feeling less than, on top of you're already being penalized and punished. They don't offer programming, or they don't offer counseling. They just turn that system into a mental ward. And that's what I endured for 18 and a half years. Went in where I was only supposed to do 5 years, 3 months. I was told.
Damn.
Right. So I mean, like you said, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, definitely. You know, they got more time out of me, but you know, that's when I learned that, you know, it wasn't a system. It was a nightmare. It was the fight of my life. It was something that I had to learn to disattach myself from my emotions and learn how to mastermind, letting a lot of my emotions go that I allow consume me, letting my mental state, allowing my mental state to hold on to sanity and hope, which I always refuse to lose on those terms. You know, I had children that I wanted to get back home to, loved ones that I needed to get back home to. That was mine. That was your. Man. I lost myself times in there. You know, I programmed myself. I got strong. I got big, muscle wise, to where they were intimidated by that. So, you know, with that, I was a popular guy, a favorite. I had the respect of the yard without being. I wasn't a bully. I wasn't. You know, I was just a you know,
you don't have
student,
to be a bully. You realize you didn't have to be a bully to. You just got to be smart.
You just got to be down to earth, you know, a human being, to where that's who I always was. My popularity, I made a reputation, you know, it was fierce, but I always have a big heart. I always, you know, help out wherever I could, and I gained that favoritism that kept me blessed. You know, I always had the extended love of my family, where I lacked the immediate, but the extended was, I had a support group that kept me holding on to the hope and sanity, and I fought for them. You know, for myself, it was there were times that I don't know how I got through it, other than the faith of holding my faith intact for, you know, the love of my family, you know, not to let them down. What I already had, you know, present, you know. So
It was like what else do I have to lose mentality, like
right.
But
Definitely.
you did have something great to lose. So
everything.
I get it. I get it. Of course, I
Absolutely.
get it. But for yourself is what I mean. You were like I'm good. I just got to make it out of here.
Right.
And
got to make it home. And I was up against all that, from the street,
exactly,
from the enemies I made, from the administrations that took on, a high profile of me that, I took it all in stride, and like I do out here in society. I've been home 13 years. I refuse to accept less.
Fucking awesome, man.
We're gonna. So I want to make
so
timeline. So at the end, because I know we had to talk about this. That right at the end, there that you're gonna maximally serve this whole 18 years. So they take you down, take you out of solitary confinement because they know that they got to expose you to slowly convert you from solitary confinement to semi-confinement to general population to release, because prepare you. Which is nuts to me, because if they have you in solitary confinement for 7 years, you're fucked up. I need at least 2 years to get used to motherfuckers around me.
Right.
So they do.
Not 2 months.
Yeah. So what was that time span that they went from solitary confinement to semi-confinement to, I think you said you went to level 4 and then you went to, you know what I mean? You kept going down.
Rushed the process.
Yeah. What was the process on that? How many?
Let me tell you this. They call it gradual reduction. I went from level 5 maximum security, but I was truly a level 1 management, medium security, right? A level 1 minimum security. But what I forgot also, and it came to me. So I go from level 5 to level 4 to level 2, from 2 to level 1. But what I forgot to add to that note was 10 days before I go home, I get into it with the guy over a cup of ice, standing in the ice line for a half hour, right? So this guy that I get into it with, he gets stabbed up on the yard the same day, right? So I got nothing to do with it, right?
Right.
So I get put in segregation for notice of intent, right? My last 10 days before I go home.
Keep that motherfucking ice. I don't give a fuck about that ice.
So now they're trying to tell me I got a new case coming. They bring the state police in. Right?
Oh my
God. Yeah. So I beat the assault charge, and I go home from segregation.
Okay.
So they tried to say that you had something to do with him getting stabbed up?
So they tried to say that I ordered the hit on this guy because I got into it with him earlier in the day, right?
Right.
So now they're trying to hit me with conspiracy to attempt murder, right?
Hell no.
Gosh.
So I come home. This is how the administration got it out for me. I come home.
Oh, they definitely had it out for you.
No, but let me tell you. I'm home a month and a half. I'm working at Ford Motor Company. A month and a half, I'm home.
Well, we're gonna wait. Hold on. Wait before you go. So you're home 3 days.
You just said a month and a half.
Well, no, hold on.
Right.
We're gonna go. So he's home 3 days.
Right.
He can't sleep because he's fuck, man. I'm home. What the fuck?
Trying to adapt.
Yeah. It's so hard.
So you're home 3 days. You're sleeping with the lights on because you're used to somebody turning them off on you.
Turning off the lights.
So you get up and you're like, shit, I gotta turn these motherfucking lights off. So
I gotta turn the lights off.
So it took you 3 days for reality to hit that you were home.
That I was home.
That took you 3 days. I think you said your uncle get you into Ford. I think you said your uncle. Was it your uncle or a friend?
Got me into Ford. Yeah.
Okay. You get into the paint shop. I think that's what you said.
Paint shop.
Okay, you get into paint shop.
I went in general production.
Good job.
You get to see your kids.
You get a good job.
Right.
When do you reflect in yourself? Like, I just did 18 years. I got a good job with Ford now. I got 4 children, and you didn't know at the time, but you get 3. You have, I think you said you had 3 more.
You're like, here's my chance.
Right.
Here's my
right. So how many days did it take you to reflect and say, God damn, I can't believe I made it out of that shithole.
Right.
And, yeah,
Right.
and I actually got a decent job. How long
Right.
did it take you to realize that?
I adjusted pretty well.
a while.
I told you the first few days, and then those went on to the months. I feel like the first year, it didn't hit me till that first New Year's came, and I came home in March of 2009. And from March of 2009 to December, that first New Year's hit, that's when I realized I made it. Not only because it was, coming upon the first year, I made it in less than 9 months. I went from 35,000 income to 125,000. A 6-figure position that I was being primed for. I got an opportunity that I fell
That's
into.
Awesome, man.
That changed my whole life around to just be able to afford good living, comfort zone.
And you got everybody that loves you around you.
Everyone that loves me around, family functions, barbecues, cookouts,
holidays, all of it.
All these things.
I'm sure every day you probably had moments where it stopped you when you did something and thought, holy shit, I'm fucking doing this. I haven't done this in so fucking long. This is great.
Like the first time you drink a Corona, you're like, oh my God, shit tastes so good.
Just fucking showering alone. Just showering alone.
Oh, that right there, that's amazing.
Right,
oh my God.
A piece of bubble gum, just and cracking open a soda, anything. Just going in your refrigerator, everything.
The little thing.
How does your mind? Because when you go in, we just got pagers. Now you come out, there's there's flip phone.
I'm still learning the technology on these cell phones.
And the world has changed around you. The world has changed.
The world changed. We had cell phone. We didn't have we had pagers, beepers. We had tape cassettes and VCR. When I came home, we had cell phones, CDs, DVRs. Everything changed. Technology advanced, the pace of life.
So who showed you? Did your kids say, "Papa, come on now, get with the time"? Did they say you got to let me show you?
Hold on, and then you're dealing with that, with your daughter doing different things, and you're like, hold on, why are you doing that? That had to really blow your mind. Why are you?
And
on
then
the
my
phone?
kids were adults. They were adults.
Right.
So it's like I'm
you're
hanging
like,
out.
Dang, I'm out, and they're on their phone.
Right.
So
they're showing me.
You get primed for
this.
You get primed for this position at Ford to make 6 figures. You crawl through it for 18 years.
Damn, man, hook me up. Shit.
Yeah,
I'm joking. I work for Ford. I just started, but I'm joking. I'm joking.
So you cross.
Now you know somebody.
Unless you want to.
And that's it.
I'm
it's not what you know, is who you know.
That is it.
Okay.
So you
that's why I got my job.
18 years. You come out clean as a whistle. You started sitting around people that are making 6 figures. Maybe high 6 figures. You're tattooed up. You're still not upset. You're still not accepted because they're looking over and who's this big motherfucker over here? Why is he all tattooed up? So they're stereotyping you because they're like, wait a minute, how do you get in the room?
That's exactly what I went through. I went through, from prison challenges now to society challenges, employment challenges. I was profiled. I was subject to ethnic intimidation situations that, I crossed my T's, dot my I's. I measured twice before I cut once. And I educated myself to always be prepared for whatever arises, just like, being sharp on your toes. And I held my weight and I gained my respect in my employment field, just as I did on that yard field inside. And I met a lot of important people that, just through conversation took to me without judgment. I had the ones that were in that position, in those positions, it took, judgment. I've changed a lot of minds and a lot of people's perceptions on how they view me because I am heavily tattooed from head to toe. My head, my whole body, and just, my whole persona, people take intimidation as view perception opposed to,
all they
once you get
see
to
is
talking,
those tattoos.
As soon as they see you, they judge you. They don't see who you are.
They don't see all the real love tatted on your heart.
That's the sad
who
part.
You really are.
That's the sad part of the world we live in. We live in a judgmental world.
Judgmental.
So judgmental.
You, man, congratulations. You've done a lot in these. You've been out since 2009, but you've done a lot, accomplished a lot since you've been out. So congratulations. It takes a big person to deal with what you dealt inside, and we'll touch on that. So, are you still dealing with demons to this day? Do you still have these demons inside you? How are you dealing with? Because I mean, you're probably a hothead, but I'm saying, are you dealing with? Are you going to therapy? Are you talking to people? Because I mean, you went through some shit.
Never goes.
So I'm pretty sure. I mean, I have my own demons. Everybody has their own demons.
We all do.
So are you still?
They never go away. Yeah, right.
Are you still dealing with those demons today?
For me,
are you talking to anybody to help you?
I think, on a daily basis, I deal with a lot of emotions. However, as I did inside, as the person that I am, I take in everything into context. I'm humbled. One thing that the system instilled in me was it humblified me to the degree where I'm grounded, and I've always been a person of strength, where mentally, emotionally, I learned how to disattach myself from the emotions that once upon a time I allowed to consume me, that I had an explosive reaction. Today, I'm contained by the restraints of self-resistance.
Okay.
And what I do in my daily life, when I have an issue, stress on a daily, I'm stressed, and I just give it to God. Not to get religious, biblical, but I've always been a man of faith, raised that way. My grandparents were religious, people that, and that's it.
So let me ask you our question. Okay, so since you've been out, has anybody ever tested you? And has anybody ever? Have you ever said, you know what? Well, what I am.
I haven't been tested that many times, but I have been tested.
Listen, you're a big boy. I wouldn't be testing you.
I was about to say that shit. I'd be like, hey, how you doing?
I seen your picture. I was like, damn.
I'm trying to be your friend.
You're right.
More than the others.
I'm not trying to be. No, I'm not trying to test you at all. We're good. We cool, right? We
cool. You know what I'm saying? You be like, I slapped the shit out you, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, let me tell you, I've taken the high road in a lot of challenges that I've had out here, and I've shown ones that, man, it ain't that serious, right? Because it's like that serious.
You've been in serious before, and you know the difference, and so you know, and they don't know, and to take the high road it takes a lot of strength and in you, and a lot of humility to do that. But people just don't get it. It ain't that serious,
and everything's different. And like you're big ass dude, man. It's different now. It's different now. You're like, better than that. Like, back in the day, people be like, oh, they would test you. I feel like everything's changed. Everybody understands, like, look, not everybody, but most people carry. Carry,
that's another thing.
That's what's changed.
That's another thing.
Before, back in the day, it was like, okay, shit. Anybody would fight
fucking ice.
Anybody.
I'm good. I don't need that ice.
So now that doesn't exist. So
right,
you know what I'm saying?
it's
and
very
what I'm saying is like your mentality, like to me, the bigger guy back in the day used to always be like, man, I'll kick your ass and all your friends' ass.
The bully.
You're not even thinking like you're right, thinking like that. It's like listen, you already know it now.
It's not it's not worth it. They're not worth your energy.
Right. There you go. It's like I want to be in a positive environment. I want people surrounded around me that are positive and happy, not serious and out to prove something. Those are scary, encounters that, when I catch a bad vibe, I pull out.
Right.
I've had incidents where I've been challenged and, I've talked guys down to, man, you know what? It ain't even worth it. Let me tell you. And I've opened guys' eyes up, they'll listen. And just in that split second, man, I've calmed guys down to really, I've broken people down in tears and rage because I'll back them up, man, and don't go there. And then I've had incidents where I still got that one hitter quitter down. Let me tell you.
Right.
Of course. I had to go there. But, when you see it, is one thing. But, some people will push it there. And then
there's a time.
Yeah, I'm
place like for every
a certain amount of feet to once you pass. No,
like you already know this guy. No, he needs a knuckle sandwich. This guy.
Now there's some,
for real.
Some people you got to slide your credentials across the table and remind them.
I had to go with the knuckle sandwich. Right, but yeah, for sure.
And you can't underestimate nobody because it's that scared person that'll be the most threat to you out here. And that's where I want people to know that I look intimidating. I'm told I look intimidating, but I'm a big
I just want to be cool with you, right?
Right.
Just want to be your friend.
Right.
Just don't push me. Just don't push me.
I'll take you as a friend any day.
So you went in with four children. You're all grown adults. You still have 3, and you ended up coming home and had 3 other ones. What's their ages? Because I know what is the ages of the 3 last ones that you have?
So I have 1, I have 7 and 11.
Oh wow! Okay,
you're laughing. You're like,
I'm only 46.
Congratulations! We're gonna go on to some more funnier and more things that we're gonna talk about, but I want to keep the show because we're gonna go here quick. So, the biggest topic is I'm just curious. COVID hit 2019, 2020. What is your thoughts on getting the vaccine now that it's being rolled out?
For me personally, I'm against it. I've always said this from my experience being incarcerated. It's unfortunately, but I don't trust the government. And with this virus pandemic, it's man-made. It was released wherever it was released from, and it was put in effect. In my opinion, I take it as population control. And the vaccine, to me, my kids I waived them from taking any vaccines. It's a sad time. The world has developed into all these bacterias and these threats. But I'm old school, man. I'm going to take the nature's way and let nature run its course, and I take my preventives, but I'm opposed to accepting the vaccine because I just don't trust the scientists that put it into effect. The government is producing it. And that's just where I stand on it.
I can definitely respect that. Now, on a lighter note, Jennifer Lopez just broke up with Alex Rodriguez today. Okay. I just want to know, are you going to be in her DMs or DMs?
I love my buddy Queen Jennifer Lopez.
Hey!
But that's a sweet catch if someone lands her.
Who's next? Like Goldberg, the wrestler. Who's next?
No, I today she got more. She got the same amount of rings as an NBA legend. She got 11 rings.
Wow,
she's a ring collector. So she got more rings than Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
She's a legend, but you know why she's a legend. So
yeah. Definitely.
So I want to.
Yeah, I'm about to slide in her DMs in a minute.
2 butt cheeks.
I want to know. And what you think? So do you think she's just hard to deal with? You think she's a control freak or she just got trash pussy? Just tell me.
Don't talk about her like that. So.
I think, you know, in my opinion, man, she, you know, everybody's got flaws, but you know, for Jennifer, and who knows? I don't know. I know if I was able to be in that position, there would be no more others. But
hey, there you go.
Right, right. And it's crazy because usually it's because of someone's busy schedule.
Right.
So there ain't no telling with that. I'd be like, hey, look, babe, go ahead, do what you got to do.
Do what you want.
See you when you get back. I would push her to be gone longer.
Right.
So,
right.
They know we just getting married. It's over. It's over.
I mean, think about it. She's busy beyond belief. Alex Rodriguez is retired.
What if she wasn't the problem, and what if these guys were the problem? Like they're all innocent, and she didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong.
Or what if he was jealous, Tori?
No.
I thought about that. It could be any little thing, you know.
Well, there was rumor that he was seen. See, there was rumor that he was seen with some chick. So I'm just saying.
Why would you?
Why is it always got to be the big booty hoe that's the problem?
No, I'm saying like, why would you want anything else when you have
other than her
legend?
So the question is, where is there loyalty? Is there infidelity, or is it just jealousy?
It hasn't been released yet. There's just speculation that while she was filming a movie in the Dominican, that in Miami he was seen with some Southern chick.
Well, you know what Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez said.
Here we go.
Bitch.
Damn! Hey, how dare you talk about her like that?
You better leave Alex's woman alone.
Did you ever talk about what was she? Dancer? What was the name? Tori on.
I checked. Oh, she went with 11 guys. So, like I said, I want to.
That's a low number. Shit.
It's like 1990. Calm down.
Right.
So,
like you guys ain't fucked 11 girls since 1990.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey. I have.
Hey. See, and what are you? There we go.
11 girls. What the fuck am I talking about? So, I want to, man, congrats
the legend when it
on everything you've done. Keep positive, and for anybody that wants to talk with you, just remember.
Oh shit,
Miguel will.
I am talking sports, motherfucker. I will massacre you.
So, in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your fucking lane.
Mind your business.
Yeah, that's all. Just mind your business.
Mind your appreciate it. Much love, man. Weekend. Love you. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for having me.
God bless.
Love you.
Thanks.
God bless.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. What a sad story. I mean, I was literally in almost tears when he was telling me all this, and I briefly told you guys. I just was, oh my God.
And I started crying just now. It's a sad story. It's sad, but it's also one of strength and triumph. And
you have to look at the positive
to overcome, like and for people who are at their, wits' end, and somebody who has been caught up in the system like he has, but not even just caught up in the system to begin with, but for people who, like you said, start out at a young age without any support that put them there.
Right.
And not that that they shouldn't be held accountable for their actions, but there should be a lot more in place so that they don't end up there. And when they actually are rehabilitated, and there are programs and there are things that help them and teach them life skills.
Right.
So that when somebody tries to, use their authority on them, they know how to diffuse the situation. And again, I'm glad he said, that his the fight and everything that was filmed, that wasn't just used to train them on what happens when something breaks out, but how to diffuse it to getting to that point. Because I think that guy to say that to him.
I think that's the biggest thing. You know, when they passed this reform about police officers, they just need to do everything. Anybody that has authority, they got to make sure that they have people skills. They got to make sure that they're able to. Go ahead.
Not even just people skills. They need mental health issues checked as well.
And it's more than one. It's a team.
It's not just like the police officers that that ride around anything. Correction officers, police officers, all of that. Anybody with authority. Not just a mental health check when you're hired, but every 6 months.
Department-wise,
they have to go to therapy. They have to take training and reevaluation. Just a lot of these people say they take one evaluation.
Continue doing that. I think they're. I read a story or seen a story about that because of George Floyd or something.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's got to start somewhere. And
a lot of them take one mental health training or one thing where they don't have social skills for just one time and they're on the force 20 years. Once in 20 years?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's just
like going to get a checkup.
It's just like going how about this? We have to get evaluated to get a driver's license. We have to get evaluated every job. We have to take drug tests. We have to get pop-up drug tests and pop-up evaluations and all of these. Why don't they have to? With all this authority that they're given, this is a huge issue. And it's not just the prisoners that are the problem. So his story is incredible.
Like where he started off when he talked about the youth homes. All that stuff like that.
Yeah,
I got friends that were in that and they got out and they're, I'm not gonna name nobody, but a couple friends that they're still doing that street shit. So it is what it
is. What it is.
Not everybody's gonna learn, and not everybody's gonna learn. But that doesn't mean that a system shouldn't be put in place for those that can and will want to. Everybody shouldn't be put in that same category as somebody who's just written off in society because they choose to fuck up and they keep choosing to do shitty things.
And they take all these things away, Tori. Like, over here, growing up over there, you remember Drake. You probably remember Tori, Casa Maria, all the recreation centers. They're like either minimizing everything, obviously because of the COVID, but like closing them down and all these things, YMCA's, Boys and Girls Club.
It's crazy stuff.
What is there around here but restaurants?
They need to have more programs for children, teenagers. They need to have all those programs.
I don't understand it. That's why, remember,
don't stay out the street.
Absolutely.
Remember, you asked the question, what would I do if I won a lot of money, all that lottery? I mean, that's why I said, because everything's gone, man. Like I said,
right before the pandemic, I was looking into a program that allowed me to go and talk to youth at schools. Just because especially for young people who have had children young, I could have went both ways having a kid at 15. I caught that, Drake. Anyways, I could have went really downhill and not had a good life. And things could have been really bad. My kid could have been awarded to the state and I could have been in juvenile and been, running the fucking streets. And a lot of things that happen when you're that age and you're so, there's so much influence that can happen to you that you need. Not everybody has somebody to talk to or to turn to. Then the pandemic happened and I wasn't able to do this program because all the kids started from school, were at home and it was like they put the program on hold, just like the program, as I was speaking of my cousin who was incarcerated. He was signed up for life skills programs. He was he had the paperwork in, he was ready, he was so excited to go. And as soon as the pandemic happened, all of their programs at Pickaway County in Ohio, I'm calling you out, all of you, all those programs stopped, came to a halt immediately.
Wow.
I don't I get that, you want to be cautious, but the entire the entire they had to call in the National Guard, and the entire place had COVID that was brought in. They said was brought in by a guard because they're all tested and put in quarantine for 30 days.
Did they ever like eventually try to do the webinar?
Nope. I just talked to him a couple days ago. His programs are still not open. They still don't have any time that they're letting them, telling them a time frame.
That's laziness. People are being lazy.
Completely. And what's crazy is he was one of 20 people in his pod that did not get corona. So he was able to they put him in a program to work more for them. So all the be the kitchen staff and stuff like that. So they're going to utilize him to do laundry and to work in a kitchen, but they're not going to open up the program that's going to help rehabilitate him or possibly get him an early release or just help him in general to make better choices mentally, when he is released. And just in general. And it's so sad. And there's so many people that like our one guest the other day had said those are life-changing programs that need to be.
Well, I mean,
you're ready.
We're just reflecting on his story. I mean, you gotta, like I said, as a child he was bounced around, didn't know what was going on, who wanted him, who didn't want him. As a small child, that could be definitely that could be very
played a role on everything that he did after that.
Everything. And when you have that emotional day, I would lose my shit too if I haven't seen my kid for 6 years. And
since
you know what I mean?
That's when I almost started crying because I can kind of relate to something like that a little bit, but
right.
Man.
But someone to take that away. Take that away. When she's fucking in the other room, but you can't see her, I would have lost my shit.
Because of what she's wearing at 7?
Right. It would have been no riot. I would have been killing motherfuckers. Like, are you crazy? Yeah.
He could have easily done
I know
I
know it felt good as fuck to throw that microwave. I've been wanting to throw a microwave at somebody for a minute.
Damn.
Bye. Good luck.
I mean, the aftermath sucked, and that was shitty, and so makes you want to think about that. But just in that moment, I couldn't even and then reliving that anger for 7 years being in the hole.
Right. That's just they tortured him. I mean, it's just plain just so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give a shout out. I got this hat on, Quincy. What up, Doe? Part of my East Side. He's had a podcast. 2012, I think. So he's been having a podcast for a long time. So my boy, shout out to Quincy Big Q. He's got his part of my East Side clothing. So I got my part of my East Side. So actually, you should get one, Tori, because you're from the East Side.
I want one. I was thinking that. I definitely want one. That's dope.
The East Side.
The Detroit.
You guys, the East Side.
Oh, for sure. I'll rock a hat all day.
That'd go perfect with what you're wearing.
It would, yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this up. So good. Everything you want to plug? Anything? Let me know. No.
Sports Mouth.
I want to leave it on that note for me.
313. That's about it, man. I'm good. About to go.
Well, you can go to my link tree. I even got my OnlyFans on there, so you can check that out.
Yeah, I think I will. I might go in there and.
So somebody said you better not be having no.
Jennifer, call me. No.
Damn.
Yeah. All right,
Jennifer,
guys.
Who's that? Who's Jennifer, man?
Lopez.
Yeah.
Oh.
Big booty hoe.
Oh, I already. She's already mine. I already.
He already was in her DM. All right, guys.
No, I'm a Selma Hayek guy, so you can have her. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, let's put the video.
Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
All right, good night.